after this hits the ring, he's in a tremendous amount of pain, and he's got a splitting headache because of the Tiger Driver 91. And but nonetheless, he threatens the audience if they don't shut up that he's going to go in and beat them all up. Basically, it's a pity party. He says he lost his ring, he lost his championship, now he has herniated discs in his spine, he says. So what does this all lead to? Because he's basically blaming the audience for this. So he renounces his American citizenship since he was going around defending the honor of this great country and the audience let him down. So he says, I will no longer be associated with this garbage country, except for the only place that matters, Plainview, Long Island, New York, which is the most magical place in the world, of course. He basically says Will Ospreay needs to keep his head on his swivel. We're not done here. Because if you ever reach the heights that you think you're going to reach, I will be right there to drag you back down. And then he tries to start talking about Daniel Garcia, who appears from out of the audience and jumps him. Garcia goes for a pile driver. Then he's like, look at these delicious corners here in this ring that I'm going to use to do a top rope turn pile driver. And that's what he does. Well, at least he tries. But then security comes in to try and keep him from going to the turnbuckles to do a pile driver. But he battles his way through security. MJF comes after him, and then he chokes him out, completely puts him to sleep, and then gets set up in the corner. More security come in along with Scrap Daddy Christopher Daniels, and that allows MJF to take a powder, hit the bricks, get out of the ring. And then Dan Garcia takes the microphone saying that he stole the Dynamite Diamond ring and pawned it off so he could pay his way to Wembley, buy a round trip ticket to Wembley Stadium. And why didn't the boss pay that for you? I'm just saying. And he says that he is out here. He's basically out for MJF's blood. He says that ruining MJF's life is his fetish. And he got the match made official with Tony Khan. Daniel Garcia versus MJF at All Out. And he wants to drop him on his head, break his neck, and he launches the microphone towards MJF. Doesn't just mic drop it. MJF is all the way up the ramp. He launches it at him and he bonks MJF on the head with it like a tremendous throw. I thought this segment ruled so much. And it ruled because of Garcia throwing the mic at him. I mean, what a tremendous segment. All of the segments hit. These were all very good so far. And this was tremendous as well. Does this mean that, again, we were talking about this on the review, but it bears mentioning. Does this mean that Dan Garcia has resigned? I would assume that he has. But apparently his contract is up in October, and I will put my hand into flame. I would bet that we are not going to hear a single thing about Dan Garcia's contract until All Out is done. I am sure that there is going to be no movement, no announcements. They want to keep this alive. I would assume that Tony Khan would lock him down. Apparently, he's not locked down. From what the reports say, that Tony Khan is rolling the dice here, that Garcia is going to stay. He's laying it on thick, and he's letting Dan Garcia have a match with MJF, a big time match, in an effort to woo him to stay, essentially. It's a hell of a gamble, and it's a gamble that Tony Khan has taken before and hasn't worked out. But, look, Tony Khan knew Andrade was leaving and yet still put him in the Continental Classic and still had him have victories and stuff, have big wins. And here we go with Garcia, who might be doing the same thing, and Garcia is going to go out against MJF. Now, the result of All Out is going to be very interesting, because if Garcia wins, then you can, I think it's safe to assume, again, in regards to just basic wrestling logic, that Garcia is staying. If he loses, we're still going to be having this conversation, despite the fact that I think that Garcia is staying, that at the very least, if he hasn't officially signed, he's expressed his intention. He's got a handshake deal, and he's going to stick around. What is Dan Garcia going to do in WWE? He's not going to main roster. They're going to send him to NXT. Is this what we're going to do? Going to send him to NXT, have some matches with Lexis King, with Eddie Thorpe. Going to go challenge for the title and against Ethan Page, a match that I'm not even sure was ever booked on AEW. Or Joe Hendry. You know that's happening. You know Joe Hendry's